going to learn about the second son of Manu, Priyavrata. The first one is Uttanpada, whose story got over in the last canto. Now we are going to learn about the second son, Priyavrata, how he spends his time in this entire life, and finally, in the end, it dawns on him that he is supposed to not waste his time on the material world and go towards God or spiritual enlightenment, and finally he takes the step and goes towards it. Now, while he is doing that, as I told you, he had many sons, right? So with the first wife of his, he had 10 sons, out of which 3 of them decided that they don't want to be in the material world, they want to be lost in the spiritual. So they took spiritual sannyasa. The remaining 7 were there, and then there was a daughter. She was married off to the guru of the demons, Shukracharya. And now we are going to learn about the different sons of Priyavrata. Okay. So now what we will learn today is of one of his sons. Now what happens to him? And that is why this is the story of Agnidhra. Okay. So let us start. We are doing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5. This is Chapter 2, the history of Agnidhra. Chapter 2, this is Sri Sukdev said, when his father Priyavrata was thus absorbed in the devotional yoga as advised by Narada, Agnidhra, who was abided by his father's command, kept the injunctions of Dharma in view and accordingly protected properly his subjects, the inhabitants of Jambudvipa, like his own children. Now, whom are we talking about? There were the 7 continents formed, correct? When the father Priyavrata decided that I want to have sun on both the sides, so there should be no night time. So he takes his chariot and he goes around the world. And that way the world got divided into 7 parts. So there are 7 continents which got created and 7 seas. Now one of the continent that got created was called Jambudvipa. Jambudvipa is the continent of Asia. Actually, we can't call it Asia. It was an independent continent. Now, when this particular continent got created, the father, Priyavrata, handed it over to this son of his called Agnidhra and told Agnidhra to rule the kingdom properly. And that is what he does. So once upon a time, he became desirous of attaining to Pitraloka. That is the region of the mains, to go towards the deathly plains. He went to perform penance in the valley of the Mount Mandara, which is a sporting ground of beautiful celestial damsels. He collected all the articles required for worship and with concentrated mind, he propitiated the venerable Brahma, the Lord of the progenitor of the universe. Having understood his intentions, the glorious firstborn Brahma deputed to him a celestial damsel called Purvachitti, who was a singer in her assembly. Now, what happens is the son, Agnidhra, decides that now I think I should give up this whole thing and go towards the deathly people. That is, I want to become a Pitra. So he goes to this mountain called Mandara, which is there within Jambudvipa, and he goes and he takes all the paraphernalia for doing his sadhana over there. Now, the people, those who inhabit that Mandara mountain, are none other than the beautiful damsels that are there. Okay, now he doesn't know that he is going to get into a very beautiful trap. So, so he goes over there and he prays to Brahmaji to give him that knowledge of the Pitraloka. Brahmaji in turn knows what is the job that he is supposed to do, so he gives this job to a very beautiful damsel called Purva Chitti and says to her, take care of this fellow. Now she is a kind of a nymph, like she is an enchantress. So let us see what happens. Having understood his intentions, the glorious firstborn god Brahma deputed to him a celestial damsel called Purvachitti, who was a singer in the assembly, and leisurely did she stroll in the garden adjacent to Agnidra's hermitage. The gardens appeared extremely beautiful with its lotus ponds of crystal clear water, which were resounded with the variegated, sweet warblings of aquatic birds like fowls like karandavas, that is, it's a kind of a duck, swans, etc. And the water birds, in their turn, aroused by the resounding melodious notes of the pairs of herbaceous and terrestrial birds perched on golden creepers, which intertwine the mass of the branches of densely grown forest trees of various kinds. Now, here you will find that where this kutia is there, hut where he is supposed to do his meditation. Right round this meditational hut, there is a very beautiful garden. It has got a lot of beautiful trees and sweet smelling plants, and the birds flock over there and they make beautiful sounds and all that stuff. And this girl, Purvachitti, is taking a stroll around this place. All right. The prince caught up with the sound of the beautiful anklets jingling at every step she wove in a charming, armorous patterns in his graceful advances. He slightly opened the pair of his lotus bud-like eyes, which were still now closed in religious meditation, and perceived her closely. Now here you will find that her anklets are making noise and she is roaming around over there, all this place, and it is creating a buzz around everywhere. So naturally, this poor fellow who has shut his eyes to do meditation, he hears the sound and he is now lost in that sound. So he opens his eyes. Like a female bee, the heavenly nymph was enjoying the sweet smells of the flower not far from him. She was making room for the god of love in the minds of men by her gait, sportiveness, bashful and modest glances, sweet voice and charming limbs, which profusely delighted the minds and the eyes of God and men alike. Her full breast, braid of hair and girdle were slightly agitated by the quickened step of fear. When she was assailed by a swarm of bees, blind and inebriated with this fragrance of her breath in the form of words, which dropped from her mouth, and which, being accompanied by the smile, with sweet like nectar and intoxicating like wine, Agnidra fell under the strong influence of the god of love, who got an opportunity to enter his heart the very moment he saw her. And like a stupid fellow, he addressed her as follows. Now, this girl is roaming around over there. She is very comely and beautiful. They have described her over here. I don't want to describe all that thing over here to you. And naturally, when she is going around over there, and there is a bee which is following her, naturally she makes a lot of, oh my God, I'm afraid, and all those kind of sounds. Naturally, at that given moment in time, this the person Agni, his name is what? Agnidra, who is Priyavrata's son, he gets very enchanted by this beautiful woman. Okay, now for all the Indians over here, please know what is happening over here. This is nothing but the formation of your great continent called this India. It is going to be the precursor. When the earth was one, it was divided into 7 continents. Now the continents have to be divided into individual territories, isn't it? So there should be nations formed. So ancient times there were some nations. So this is the Indian subcontinent. Earlier on, this was called Bharatvarsha, because named after Bharata. So, but before that, before Bharata came into the picture, this was something else. So we will learn about that today. Okay. So naturally, the story goes that this king Agnidra, he is very much enchanted by this beautiful lady. Now he is in this continent called Asia. I can't even call it Asia. It is called Jambudvipa. And in the Jambudvipa, he has gone to this particular mountainside, okay, Mandara mountain, and poor fellow was meditating over there. And suddenly this beautiful nymph comes over there, dancing around, prancing around, and she is a very full-blown woman, okay. So naturally what happens over there is the god of love strikes the heart of this Agnidra. Oh great sage, who are you and what do you propose to do on this hill? Are you some indescribable power of worshipful supreme deity? Oh friend, do you carry a pair of stringless bows for your purpose, or do you hunt above after careless, uncautious beasts? So what is this girl saying? This girl is looking at this Agnidra fellow. Okay, he's a king, Purvavrata's son. So naturally she looks at him and she says, "What exactly are you doing over here, sitting in this mountainside, near the hut, and closing your eyes and now opening them and looking at me?" Now, with the very clearly, there is a very beautiful reference, stringless bow. Stringless bow means with your beautiful eyes. Okay. Have you ever noticed this is an arch which forms on top of the eyes? So naturally she asks him, with your stringless bows, you are looking at me. Okay. And then she says to him, and do you hunt after careless, uncautious beasts? So naturally, with those eyes of yours, are you looking for beast? Beast means me. I am that beast is what she is saying to him. And you are looking at, uncautious beasts. We are roaming around like this, oblivious to the surroundings. So why are you looking at us? These two arrows of your glorious self are winged with lotus petals. They are gentle, beautiful, without feathers, yet of extremely sharp teeth. We do not know of whom you wish to aim them in the jungle. May your valor be of good of dull-witted persons like us. So the young woman is looking at Agnidra and saying, Purvachitti, remember, she is very smart. Okay? She is the assistant of Brahmaji. Don't be under this misapprehension that she's some very delicate darling over there. Nobody like that. She is a right hand person of Brahmaji. Brahmaji's coterie. Okay, Purvachitti is her name, and her job is to entice men. See, if she doesn't entice, then the creation of this universe will not happen. Isn't it true? So naturally, this girl is asking this man, Agnidra, she's saying, with your beautiful eyebrows arched, why are you sending me those arrows, from your eyes? It's a language, it's a poetical language of saying, you are looking at me. Aankh hamare, like that in Hindi song there. So, why are you looking at me like this, is what she's saying. And then she says, oh, these beautiful feathers. These two arrows of your glorious self are winged with lotus petals. That means they are full of softness. With your eyes, you are looking at me with those beautiful rose petals or even the lotus petals, which are nothing but full of softness. So you are looking at me amorously. All right. So we do not know whom you wish to aim. So she's just teasing him, referring to the black bees which are roaming around her body. These disciples of your worship are reciting the Vedic hymns around me. And by incessantly singing the Samaved with a full understanding of his mystic doctrines that are glorifying the Lord, just as the sages early resort to that particular branch of Vedas, all these black bees are eagerly resorting to the shower of flowers that are dropped down on all sides with your braids of hair. Now he's a person sitting over there. And the bees and the black beetles, they are roaming around this girl, isn't it? So naturally she's saying, why are you sending these special creatures around me so that they can entice me, huh? So that they can make me fearful and I will come and fall in your arms? Is that what you are thinking? Okay, a very romantic story going on just now. All right. O Brahman, we can hear only the sweet notes of the titri birds and are engaged by their form of not visible. Whence did you get this kadamba flower like splendor of the garment round your hips, which are engirdled by the fire like shining zone? O Brahmana, what is stored in your beautiful horns which you carry? Your difficulty, besides your slender waist and on which my eyesight is firmly resting, the saffron colored fragrant paste applied to your horn is such as filled my hermitage with sweet smell, O beautiful one. I'll continue. Okay. Oh, best friend, please show me your region. The inhabitants whereof bear in the bosom such wonderful pair of limbs which delight yet agitate the mind of ascetics like us, and who have their countenance such a beautiful treasure of sweet words, amorous gestures, nectar, and the like. So naturally, this poor fellow has got so entangled by all these things. So he is talking, and both of them are conversing now with each other. He is describing her and she is describing him. She is asking him, why are you so much enamored by me? He is asking her, why are you so beautiful? Why are you like this over here? It's a typical dialogue which a romantic couple is going to have. So naturally, that is what they are saying. What is the... See, I don't want to go into all this because it's going to waste our time. I hope you understand this part very well. Okay? Or you can use your imagination. What is the food on which you subsist? By eating that there blows forth a fragrance like that of oblation offered in the sacrificial fire. Oh dear friend, you are a part of God Vishnu, for like him there are earrings with two twinkling crocodiles in your ears. Your countenance is like a lake with the bewildered eyes, which are pair of fish in agitation, with your rows of teeth appearing beautiful like a row of swans, and the mass of curly hair like swans and black bees moving about you. So she is describing this very handsome guy. Okay. And she's saying to him, you look so handsome, with those beautiful earrings of yours dangling from your ears. Those are the crocodile earrings which Krishna wears, exactly like that. So she asks him, are you some god or something like that? Or who are you over here sitting like this? This ball which you hit with your lotus-like hands moves about in all directions, makes my eyes roll about. You are not aware of the loosened braids of your curly hair. Alas, the dissolute wind, addicted to licentious pleasure, is taking off your lower garment. Now, this is like more or less some thing which we need to avoid. So think about it. This girl is describing to him what is happening to your lower garment. Okay, so all right. O ascetic, your beauty wrecks the penance of those who are enraged in austerities. But what kind of penance did you secure in your beauty, my friend? You should perform penance in my company. Or it may be that God Brahma has been verily pleased with me and has sent you to me. I shall not let you go, my beloved, who are conferred on me by God Brahma. Neither my mind nor my sight fixed on you are they who would like to depart. O friend, with beautiful horns, be pleased to lead me to your devoted servant wherever you like. May your faithful companion follow me. In the forest, there are female deers around, roaming around. So he's addressing, saying this to the girl, that there are so many beautiful creatures which are adorning you and following you all over the place. Okay, they can also follow us wherever we are going now. So now the story goes on. See, Sukdev says, in this way, Prince Agnidra, who was highly expert in the art of courting beautiful ladies and was blessed with godlike intelligence, thoroughly propitiated the celestial damsel in a language which cleverly expressed his intentions. So Agnidra uses his power of speech and entangles this girl in his clutches, and naturally he is a ladies' man. He is a Don Juan over there. Naturally, he is enticing this girl. Although the Lord of charming personality is difficult to be attained, or by the use of an accomplishment of all the means of sacrifice, such as wealth, suitable place, time, appropriate mantras, competent sacrificial priests, and payment of liberal sacrificial fees, he is affectionate to his devotees. Hence, oh, sorry. I think there was some problem here. My page got turned. Sorry. Okay. Apologies. Sri Sukdev said, I will start from there again. In this way, Prince Agnidra, who was highly expert in the art of courting beautiful ladies and was blessed with godlike intelligence, thoroughly propitiated by the celestial damsels in a language which cleverly expressed his intentions. And she, whose heart became strongly attached to him on account of the intelligence, noble character, beauty, youth, splendor, and liberality of the prominent hero, enjoyed in the company of the lords of the Jambudvipa earthly and heavenly enjoyment for a pretty long time. That means they both courted each other and fell in love with each other, and naturally they are now together for many, many years to come. The great king Agnidra, they said, got by her 9 sons by the name Nabhi, Kimpurusha, Harivarsha, Larvata, Ramyaka, Hiranmaya, Kuru, Bhadravsa, and Ketumala. So with this damsel over there, Agnidra and Purvachitti have many children. So they got 9 children in all. And in that, the person whom we are going to learn more about is called Nabhi. So we are going to learn more about Nabhi and the country called India today. Actually, it is not India per se, it is called the Indian subcontinent Bharat Varsha. Bharat Varsha is named after this individual called Nabhi. Okay. Before the name Bharata came into the picture, this place was the central region. Nabhi means, navel, navel of the earth. Got it? So we are going to learn more about it. So, the son of Agnidra from their birth inherited the well-built body and the enormous strength by the grace of their mother. When the patrimony was duly divided among them by their father, they enjoyed severally the different divisions of Jambudvipa, which were also named after them. So the countries in this Jambudvipa were named after these 9 guys, the 9 people. Okay. King Agnidra was still not satisfied with enjoyment and pleasure. Every day he brooded over nothing else but the celestial damsel. By performance of acts prescribed in the Vedas, he attained the same region as her, a region where departed forefathers enjoy themselves. On the demise of their father, the 9 brothers married the 9 daughters of Meru, whose names were Meru Devi, Pratirupa, Ugradamastri, Lata, Ramya, Shama, Nari, Bhadra, and Devaviti. Now, these 9 children of Agnidra, that is the father, and Purvachitti, the mother, they were born very handsome and beautiful and well built and all that. They finally came to youth, and then the father left the kingdom to them. So 9 different, from the continent of Jambudvipa, 9 nations got created. Got it? Now in these 9 nations, because the territories were divided and given to them, these 9 got married to 9 daughters of Meru mountain. So in this chapter, we come to know something very strange, and that is the creation of the earth. First we took. After that, we have taken the creation of the different continents, and now we have taken the creation of nations. All right. The river, the seas, and everything is now in place. So now we have come to the end of this chapter, and now we will start the next chapter. So we are doing Bhagavad Puran. This is Canto 5, Chapter 3, the history of Nabi. He is the incarnation of Rishabha. Chapter 3. Sri Sukdev said, being desirous of progeny, Nabi along with the childless Meru Devi worshipped the venerable Lord of sacrifices with concentrated mind. Although the Lord of charming personality is difficult to be attained by the use and accomplishment of all the means of sacrifice such as wealth, suitable place, time appropriate mantras, competent sacrificial priests, and payment of liberal sacrificial fees, he is affectionate to his devotees. Hence, when he was devotedly and with pure heart performing the sacrifice, his heart became eager to accomplish the object desired by his devotee. Although his charming personality is absolutely independent, he manifested his form with beautiful limbs, ravishing the minds and sight at the time of conducting the pravagyas, that is, different ceremonies, soma sacrifices that are there. And lo, the Supreme Lord appeared as a self-effulgent personality with two pairs of arms. He was clad in tawny-colored silk garments. He was splendid Srivatsa mark on his chest. He was characteristically distinct by the great conch, Panchajanya, lotus vanmala, a garland of flowers, discussed the immortal jewel Kaustubh, mace and others. At this, the priest officiating at the sacrifice, the directions of the sacrifice, and the sacrificer waited upon his very respectfully with agriya offering water to wash the guest's hands. They received him bending down with their heads respectfully, just as a poverty-stricken person would do when receiving a great treasure trove of love. Now here we are coming to the next part of the story. We have taken the last son, that is in the last chapter, the son called Nabhi was born. Now Nabhi with Meru Devi's children, one of them, decides that he wants to perform different yagyas in his land. And he performs a very beautiful sacrifice where he is doing very religiously. So the Lord Narayana comes and stands in front of Nabhi. And now he is described over here very beautifully. Sacrificial priest said, O most adorable God, even though you are perfect in every respect, you will be pleased to accept your own accord the worship offered to you by us, your servants. We are unable to praise you as your form is incomparable. Hence, we are taught by the saintly person to express our obeisance to you again and again. You transcend Prakriti and Purusha. What man whose mind is absorbed in samsara, the product of the gunas and Prakriti and else incapable, can describe fully the nature of the supreme ruler of Prakriti and Purusha by means of name, form, and color belonging to the modern gross creation called samsara, which hardly touched by you. Now, hardly touched, he touches. So here what we are understanding is Lord Narayana is standing over there. Okay? But when such a great person is there, in your own life also, do you think you have the words to express how to welcome them? You naturally keep on blabbering something or the other. So the priest over there asked for pardon and then they welcome him in a manner which they can think of. One cannot do anything more than to extol only part of those multitudes of excellent and the most auspicious attributes which destroys the sin of human beings. You are thoroughly pleased indeed, O Supreme One, though worship offered to you lovingly by your followers. Worship consists of water, pure white shoots, tender tulsi leaves, and sprouts of durva grass, and accompanied by sincere prayers in faltering tones. We do not see if you have achieved any covetable object of yours through your elaborate sacrifice, enriched with a number of component parts. So here what are the priests saying? The priests are saying, see, we don't know much about how to welcome you and all that, but as we know that the way in which we can welcome you is by washing your feet and giving you water to drink and so on and so forth, and putting some grass, darba grass that is there at your feet, and giving you some flowers and giving you what is called tulsi leaves. And that's the only way in which we know how to worship you, because all the devotees of yours worship you in this manner. You are highest bliss, the embodiment of all the mutually complementary Purusharth, which flowing from yourself uninterruptedly, directly and to an unlimited extent. O Lord, the sacrifice signifies as merely an adequate means of propitiating you in the case of us who covet the blessings of the Purusharth. O Supreme Person, you are superior to Supreme God like Brahma. We are ignorant. We by ourselves do not know what is the highest good, nor have we worshipped you properly, but just as others, that is, other teachers that are there, out of your exceedingly profuse compassion, you reveal yourself here to us and bestow us your glory, known as the final liberation, as well as the object coveted by us. So, all these priests are looking towards him and praising him and saying to him, we want to thank you, because it's a very difficult thing for anybody in this world to get the darshan of the Lord. So naturally, these priests, they are very happy in getting the darshan, and they are talking this kind of a beautiful language. However, the very fact that you have now manifested yourself to the vision of your own people at the sacrifice of the royal sage Nabhi, it is itself a veritable boon. O most worshipful Lord, the foremost among those who confer boons. O Lord, the description of the host of your excellent attributes is the source of the highest auspiciousness, even to sages who are completely burnt down by the impurities, by the fire of knowledge, intensified by non attachment, and have consequently become similar to you in nature and enjoy themselves in their self. Hence, your excellent virtues are continuously sung by them. If we are talking about how, when somebody praises the Lord, very soon they become one like the Lord. And naturally, they start looking like Him also, and they behave in that manner in such a way. So these priests are talking, the priest who Nabi had appointed, they are talking about how to, they are talking to the divine Lord Vishnu himself. So, we seek one boon from you. So now these people are going to ask something. May your name, descriptive of your excellent qualities and annihilating all sins, be ever uttered by us, even when we are unable to remember you, while stumbling, hunger stricken, falling, yawning, and in wretched conditions, and even when attacked by fever, and at the moment of death as well. So it's a very important wish that they are having. That is, they are telling the Lord, please grant us this wish, wherein we will be taking your name constantly. So even at the time of the death, we should not give up your name. Your name should be constantly on our lips. Moreover, the royal sage is desirous of progeny. He looks upon progeny as a covetable object in human life. He covets to have progeny like you. Hence, like a beggar approaching Kubera, the Lord of wealth, we obtain mere husk. We beseech you, the Lord who is competent to give all blessings, including pleasures of heaven and final beatitude. Is there any such person in this world who is not waited upon on the feet of the high-souled ones and still not overcome by your invincible Maya of inscrutable ways, and whose intellect and understanding has not been clouded by her, and whose nature has not been overwhelmed by the vehemence of the poison in the form of sense objects of pleasure? You have been invited here for an insignificant object. This act of ours, who are dull witted enough to regard progeny as the highest object in human life, is really an insult to you, who are the Lord of unlimited achievements. Be pleased, O God of gods, to forgive us all, who are ignorant ones, and as you equal in kindness to all. This is a very important statement which these priests are making. The priests are saying, like a stupid person, Nabi, the son of Agnidhra, what is he asking you for? He has done this kind of a puja, this puja part or whatever that thing is going on, the yajna, just because he wants a son. Can you imagine that? And the Lord has come over there. He's standing over there. He says, these priests then look at the Lord and they say, this is the stupidest thing any person can ask. You see, we can ask for liberation and we can ask for the highest of the bliss in the world. But here is Nabi asking for material worldly gifts from you. And that is the reason why he has done this prayer. And you are kind enough to come and stand in front of us. Sukdev said, O glorious Lord Vishnu was thus being praised by the hymn composed in prose. The feet of that foremost of the gods was bowed by the priests who were paid obeisance by King Nabi, the ruler of the subcontinent, which later became famous as Bharatvarsha. Okay, he, the Lord, spoke graciously as follows. The Lord said, O sages, it is admirable that the very embarrassing and the difficult boon, that is asking for a son of this king would be like unto me, has been sought from me by you, whose words are not futile and ineffective. For being matchless, one without I alone am similar to me. Nevertheless, the words of the Brahmanas should not prove untrue, inasmuch as my own mouth, that is represented by the race of Brahmanas, who was like gods among the twice born. Therefore, no compare to me being available, I shall exhibit a part of mine on this earth through King Nabi is the son of Agnidra. Now this is a very very important line. So I will explain it to you once we finish this. So Sukha said, with the hearing of Queen Merudevi, the Lord addressed this to her consort and disappeared. O King Vishnu Datta and his Parikshit, the glorious Lord who was thus propitiated by the great sages in the very sacrifice, who desired to oblige the monarch, descended as the son of Merudevi in the king's harem. He assumed a white personality with a view of demonstrating the world the sacred vows to be observed, or recluse is clad with air performing austerities with a pledge of to observe lifelong celibacy. Now, what happens over here? When all these priests gather together and they are praising the Lord and they are saying we are very much ashamed in asking, because the Yajmana is King Nabi. Nabi is sitting over there. The priests are performing the rituals and the rites. Even in your case also, almost everybody, what do? We don't know all those different verses and stuff like that which you are supposed to say. We don't know the rites and the rituals. So we tell the Panditjis, okay, you perform these actions, right? Now here, when they are performing these actions, the Lord comes and stands in front of them. And then these priests, they look at the Lord and they say to the Lord, Lord Vishnu, he says, we are very sorry to call you over here, but it is for the stupidest reason of all. The reason is our king over here, Nabi, he wants a son. Okay? And the son should be like you only. So the Lord looks at them and says, yeah, that is, I understand what you are talking about. Okay? But somebody like me, exactly like me, cannot be given. Like me, I cannot come and somebody like me cannot come. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a small portion of myself and I am going to grant it to King Nabi. Okay? And so I will be born in his kingdom over here. Now this is the avatar of Lord Vishnu, which we are going to learn about in the next chapter. He is called Rishabh Dev. I'm sure you have heard about this story earlier, but we are going to do the story of Rishabh Dev in the next chapter. So the Lord grants Nabi this wish, and then Nabi is going to now have a son called Rishabh Dev. So here we have come to the end of this chapter, and Sukdev is talking about how this whole thing got culminated only for a very specific reason. If you go back in the story, you will come to know, first the earth got created. The earth had a king whose name was Manu. He had two children. One part of the family was described, and then the second part of the family was described. So last time we did Priyavrata's story over here, the second son of his. Priyavrata's son came into the picture. Now, one of the sons, Nabi as we call him, he is the one, he got 9 children. So when this particular king, he saw that the earth was not getting light 24/7, he thought that the one thing that I can do is I can create another sun. And he goes around in his chariot right around the earth. So when the sun is on one side, he is on the other side. There he creates the brightness. And while he is doing that right around the world, he creates continents and deep oceans. Now, then after many years, he passes away. After he passes away, he gives the land over to his sons. So the 7 sons take charge of the 7 islands that are there. These are the continents. 3 sons of him become recluse. The daughter gets married, okay, to the guru of the demons, right? You know the story. And then one of the sons, his name is Nabi. He gets entangled in this beautiful girl when he goes to the mountains, and he has many children from her, right? Now these children, in that, the first one, I'll tell you the names if you want. I'm sorry, it is not Nabi, it is Aganidhara, who has children. Okay, one of the child of his is called Nabi. Nabi in turn is looking for a son, and then he does this yagya in which he gets a son. This son is exactly like the Lord himself, Rishabdev as we call him, and Nabi becomes the person through whom this particular Indian subcontinent is called after, before King Bharata. So King Bharata came later on in life, but Nabi is the person who came before that. I'll tell you what the name is. The other name of Nabi, I just looked it up, it is called Ajnabha. Ajnabha. Nabha. Nabi is the central point, and that is the navel. So this is how these 2 stories have ended. So tomorrow we will do the story of Rishabdev. Alright, so we will stop over here for